I'm 27 years old. I live in Orlando, Florida. The reason I started wakeboarding was more for hitting rails. Like, I grew up in Canada, so I was doing more rail stuff and snowboarding. And yeah, like the whole women's scene for wake skating has definitely grown since like 5-6 years ago. There was no girls, and then you see a few girls, and you know, from last year and this year and the year before that, I've actually been going out and doing like any contest that there is for wake skating and just getting in with the guys. And you know, some people look at that and think, wow, you know, that's brave or whatever, but it's not. I was never trying to beat the guys. I just wanted to wake skate, and I wanted to do what they were doing, just get the whole adrenaline rush of going to a contest. But if I didn't compete with the guys, then you just don't get the choice. So if someone didn't stand up and say, let me compete with the guys, then there wouldn't be any women's wake skating.
I'm Courtney Dutson, and I'm 24. I've been wakeboarding for 5 years. I think more women are becoming involved now. The sport's just growing naturally, you know. Now it's more common to have a friend, a female friend that's into it, and then she can get you into it. And yeah, the clinics help a lot because a lot of women or girls are timid to kind of get out there for the first time when they're in a boat full of guys who have done it a bunch. So the clinics give them an all-female atmosphere where they might feel a little bit more comfortable and then come out and ride, and that's a good starting point for a lot of girls, a lot of women. So the clinics really help, and they get to see girls who do this either as a living or, you know, they compete, whatnot, you know, girls like myself or everyone else on Maven. And I think it's kind of an inspiration and helps them get involved and say, oh, I can do this too. So.
Jennifer Gillenfar, I'm 19 years old. I wakeboard, wake skate, and wake surf. I started wakeboarding behind my grandpa's cabin cruiser in Lake Tahoe when I was about 9 years old. I was a scurfer. And just rode like a couple times a year until my dad bought a wakeboard boat in 2000 before I even knew I knew how to wakeboard, and everything just kicked off from there. This year was a big year for women's wakeboarding, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger as we go, especially with like the chick foot coming out and looking for us coming out with the whole Maven line. Women's wakeboarding's blowing up. We're starting to get a lot more girls on the tour.
My name's Cathy Williams. I'm 37 years old, and I've been riding competitively for 9 years. I've been riding for about 10 years, and I'm from Murray, Kentucky. When I first started wakeboarding, there was probably 12 girls total, and it was all about what sponsors backed them was to who was going to be well known, and that carried on for ages. The tricks weren't extensive. The biggest thing was probably a Rayleigh, and only a couple girls did it. Dana Preble and Andrea Gayton. And then Tara Hamilton came along and dominated for a while. And then here comes Dallas. New blood, you know, and she's dominated for ages. As a matter of fact, to the point where she's probably pretty bored, you know. And it's good because now, this year is the first year after getting loads of crap from judges, the tour, the magazine saying that we're not good enough, that we're a dying sport. The tour doesn't want us on because they don't think we're tech enough. I think this year has been a turning point. We're seeing some younger girls coming through Tootsie Roll, Whirly, Moby Dick, and of course you got Dallas, Batwing, Road Blind, Dum Dum, all these things. A lot of the girls, and some of the girls that have been in it for a while are stepping it up. Megan Major's throwing some new stuff now, Tantrum of Blind, Chromobe, and she's working on something else I can't remember. Nobody wants to tell because they're too afraid someone else is going to do it, you know. And that's another thing girls need to do is suck it up and start being more open with their riding and helping each other out and grow and push each other. I think back in the day when I started riding, girls weren't open to having you come over and ride, you know, because they didn't want you to see what they were doing. Dude, if I saw Dallas going over and doing a whirly, I ain't gonna go home and learn it in a day. You know what I'm saying? Girls have this mentality, kind of that sort of, you know, our little cattiness about, you know, afraid someone's gonna knock us out of our pole position. If you don't like to compete, get out. You know, you can free ride all day long if you want. But now girls are starting to be a little bit more open. Dallas is being more open. Myself, I always give my time. I may not be able to do a Whirly 5, but by God, I can coach it. You know, so I think with the new influx of girls and tricks, we're starting to see some excitement in the industry, as well as amongst the other competitors. And I'm hoping that'll be a drive and a pushing force to help grow our sport. So it's come a long way in 9-10 years.